Hey everyone, we are here again. Somebody asked me to see Nina, so
I'm not just a fake voice over there. I'm actually a real person. So, hi everyone.
Happy almost Thanksgiving. Today we are talking about traveling if you're a green card holder. This information applies if you're a conditional green card holder or a permanent one. I'm Raluca Hanea. I am an immigration, business, and estate planning attorney. And I'm here, as you saw, with Nina Clear, my office and marketing manager. I really appreciate all your comments, likes, and shares as they help more people to see my videos. Also, if you have questions, please post them here. We love answering them for you here. So please post them below or send us a message on Facebook. We did a video yesterday, which we'll link to in the comments below, and we talked about traveling as a citizen.
So the reason I sit over here is so you can hear me better.
Yes.
Because if I was right next to Raluca, it would be hard to hear me. But one thing that we wanted people to know is that a lot of the things we talked about yesterday in the video for citizens also applies to green card holders, right?
Yes. That is true. However, there are some distinct differences with green card holders that I want people to be aware of.
Okay, so what are they?
The biggest thing would be if you're a green card holder, either permanent or conditional, you cannot apply for a U.S. passport because you're not a citizen. So if you're going to travel outside the United States, you will need to have a valid passport from your country of origin or citizenship.
And by valid, you also mean current.
Current.
Right?
That's
so, because yesterday we talked about how your passport has to be valid or still be in effect for at least 6 months from the time you enter the country. So that's true for the green card holders as well, right?
Yes, that is true for anyone, a visa holder, green card holder, or citizen when they travel into or out of the United States.
Okay. What about if your passport is expired from the other country, what should somebody do?
That person should take that expired passport to the consulate of the country of which they are citizens in the U.S. to the consulate there, and they should be able to get a new one. They have to apply for a new one before they travel.
And can any green card holder get a passport that way?
Yes. For those who are seeking asylum or as refugees, they may not be able to do so. So they should talk to USCIS about their circumstances.
Because it might not be safe for them to go to the consulate.
Yes, but they are not green card holders. So yes.
Okay.
So they are different categories.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they need a foreign passport, so not a U.S. passport because they can't get one. What else is different for green card holders?
Well, this is really important for people to understand. Traveling outside and back into the United States is a privilege and it's not a right. Therefore, if you're not a citizen, but only a green card holder, this means that the re-entry into the U.S. is not guaranteed.
Wait, so you mean even if you're a permanent resident, so a green card holder, conditions have been removed, you are a lawful permanent resident for your life, you could leave, and then when you come back, a custom agent could say you couldn't come back inside?
That's right.
Okay, it's a little scary. Is there anything you could do to ensure that doesn't happen?
Well, the only way to ensure that doesn't happen is to become a citizen.
Okay, so that's why you're always telling people make sure you become a citizen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But
it's another advantage of being a U.S. citizen.
Another protection for you.
Another protection, yes.
Okay. So when a green card holder leaves the country, what do they need to take with them? We know they need their foreign passport. What else?
They also, so they need to take their valid current passport and their valid unexpired green card. This is also known as permanent resident card, or it says on the bottom there, if you read it, Form I-551.
Okay. What about if they haven't gotten their green card yet?
They can also travel with an I-551 stamp on their passport.
Okay. And then what about people with a conditional green card? So that's good for only 2 years. They might have applied to get the conditions removed, but they haven't gotten any response except we've gotten this and we're processing it. Good luck for 18 months, right? Which is true with several of our clients.
Yes. They need to bring their expired green card plus the receipt from USCIS showing that they filed to remove the conditions.
So when they travel out of the country, along with their passport, their ticket, whatever they're bringing, they have to take that expired green card and the receipt.
Yes, because on the receipt, you usually will find that language where it says that they extend the validity of your green card for another 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. It depends.
Oh, okay.
It depends. So that letter is showing that your expired 2-year green card is still valid for another period of time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what about advanced parole? We talked about this before in another video, so it's just basically getting permission before you leave. Do green card holders need to get that before they leave?
Yes, if they have filed for removal of conditions or they're still in the process of being approved for a green card, they will need to file the advanced parole if they don't have any other proof that the status is still valid. Although some of the employment authorization documents, the cards, will have the language there that says that card also serves as I-512 advanced parole, and then they don't have to file separately for that.
Okay. Do you know, is that on every one of them, or is it just?
It should be, but it's again also up to the USCIS if they decide tomorrow not to do that, to write that, because they used to have this as a separate process completely. So now I guess they just try to make it easier for people that are waiting for their status.
So just make sure you read your card.
Yes, read your card.
Okay.
Yes.
And then how long does advanced parole usually take?
As of today, they're processing documents received in May 2018. So about 4 or 6 months is what they're saying from the National Benefits Center.
Okay, because we do have people call us and, you know, unfortunately someone has died in their family and they're like, oh, I need to get home this weekend.
Yeah.
But this sounds like if you haven't applied yet for advanced parole and you need it, you're not going to be home for Christmas even.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, it's true.
Okay. Is there anything they can do to speed up the process?
Unfortunately, no. We are asked this question frequently, as you said, particularly when family members die, but you can't.
So there's not like a bereavement speed or bereavement clause
they don't
or
have
anything.
any.
Okay. So you need to carry your green card with you when you're traveling. What about if you lose it?
If you lose your green card while you are traveling, you can apply for a U.S. government transportation letter through the local U.S. consulate or embassy. But when you return to United States, they could require you to file for a new green card and pay the applicable fee before letting you enter the country.
So at the time, like you fly in, you go to customs and you're like, oh, here's my letter. And they're like, okay, pay up and apply. And that's like $540 or something.
Yes.
Right? So,
yes.
Okay. What about the length of your visit? Does that matter?
Yes. The government starts to consider you having abandoned your residence in the United States if you leave for more than 6 months to a year. If you're gone over a year, you will probably need to start the green card processing application again. However, I want people to remember that coming back, each time customs will look at their intent. So they will look for things like how often you travel, how long have you been gone, and if you have a permanent address in US, if you were employed in another country while you were absent from the US, and the officer will make determination if that person, what's your intent, if that person didn't intend to be a permanent resident anymore. So even if they left for one day.
Okay, so if they have a job in another country, they might be like, you don't mean to stay here.
Yes.
So we're gonna revoke your green card, basically. And
sure. I mean, there are different circumstances for each case. So if you can show that, oh yeah, I traveled because I was sent by this U.S. company to work in another country for a period of time, that's different.
Right.
But if you just leave, for example, okay, you were unemployed here and you couldn't find any job, and you decided, okay, I'm going to go and find a job in another country, you can be denied, and the officer can determine that you abandon your U.S. residency because you just found employment in another country.
Right. Okay. And are there any other factors they consider? So you talked about not having a permanent resident or working outside of the country. Anything else they look at?
Yes, they will look at some other factors the same way as they did when you apply for a green card, such as if you committed a crime in another jurisdiction, and it's just never a guarantee that you can get back in.
Okay, so what about if you stayed away longer than 6 months or a year?
There are applications that you can file prior to returning to the U.S., but those require too much details so we can talk about them right now and here. We can probably talk in another video about that.
Okay. Now, I read that Customs does not require a passport for returning green card holders. Is that right?
While they may say the airlines may require one, as well as the country that you are traveling out, I would recommend that you always have a valid current passport.
So Customs just looks at your green card. So they say, oh, we don't need it, but the airline might. So you have to do what the airline wants, or they're not letting you on the plane.
Yes, and the country where you just visited.
Right.
They need to know how you got in.
Right.
When you.
Okay.
Yes.
So it sounds like it might be a little bit stressful if you're a green card holder to leave the country. Do you recommend that your clients don't travel?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I wouldn't recommend that, but live your life. Just be aware of what you need to do and the possible consequences. So make sure you always have a permanent residence in the U.S. and you don't do anything that would jeopardize your re-entry. And most of the time, what it could affect that, it's the fact that you stay out of U.S. for too long. So don't stay too long out of the United States. Next video, we will be talking about travel for visa holders. So thank you for watching us. Thank you for your likes and shares, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.